Welcome back, everyone, into the Grind City Media mock draft for this year's 2024 NBA draft. Joining me to represent the Portland Trailblazers in the first of two lottery picks is Sean Highkin, and I'm so excited to have you here because there is a lot of shock and redoing who you think people are going to choose when I send them who's already off the board. But Sean, he comes with confidence today, knowing that his player is still on the board. Let me just paint the picture for everyone watching who maybe wasn't so involved in Portland Trailblazers this year. Last year, the Blazers officially kind of kicked off their rebuild with selecting Scoot number 3 overall, and then obviously dealing Damian Lillard over to the Bucks. They also have 14 this year. So like I said, there's 2 lottery picks. And my thought process, Sean, was that they have invested so much into their backcourt doing this rebuild, with Anthony Simons and Shaedon Sharpe and Scoot Henderson. With that 4 pick, I'm like, do they look to invest and do you reload that front court, or do they just look for the highest upside in a player to add talent to a young team? And so I think those are your 2 options there. So before I put you on the clock, I want to ask you which direction you think the Portland Trailblazers go.
I don't think they're taking another guard. I'm pretty to your point. Yeah, they have, Scoot Henderson, who they just took 3rd overall last year. And, he had kind of an up and down rookie season. It was rough in a lot of places, but I think they're very encouraged by the way that his season ended. And they are, very comfortable that he's going to be one of the guys they build around going forward.
Yeah.
So when you look at, whether it be, either one of the 2 Kentucky guys, Reed Shepherd or Rod Dillingham, who are kind of the 2 guys in that mold, 6'3" guards or 6'2" guards, whatever he measured out of the combine.
Yeah.
I don't think that's something that they're really gonna do. Yeah. I guess the other one, and I've seen him, and this was obviously before we found out yesterday that he has a torn ACL, so he might fall. But Nikola Topic is the other one that is, as far as the guards that are projected to go in that range. That one, I think you could talk yourself into a little bit just because he's a bigger guard. And so you can talk yourself into, he can play in different lineups or but I didn't think they were going to go that way anyway. But then him having this knee injury where he's probably not going to play for all of next year, that to me, that even more solidifies that that's not going to be who they would go with at 7.
Yeah. Okay. So, should we put you on the clock? Should we just go dive in? Let's put you on the clock. For the Portland Trailblazers number 7 overall pick. You got the spotlight.
So since the lottery day, since they fell, because they had the 4th odds, they were number 4 in odds, and they fell back to 7 because 3 teams jumped them in the lottery. And since that day, I guess we'll call it an educated guess. Obviously, I don't know what their draft board is, but this front office, this is the 3rd draft that they've run since Joe Cronin took over and brought in, Mike Schmitz and the rest of his front office staff. So I kind of have a pretty good idea of the types of swings they like to take and the types of prospects they go after and kind of what their type is. And the one to me that checks all of those boxes is Cody Williams from Colorado.
Ooh, I like this one. So he is 6'9". Good in transition. And I think his one of his biggest upsides is the fact that he's a good defender. Does that fit a need for what Portland currently has?
Absolutely. Yeah, they were not a good defensive team last year. This front office, the type of guy that they like to go after, they like long athletic wings. Basically, they have a type, it's kind of a running joke that they just want, they could build a whole team of that if they wanted to.
Yeah.
I know that I don't know what they would have done if they had the number 2 pick last year, for example, but I do know that I think they were very high on Brandon Miller. I'll just say that. So they have a type. They have a type. They have a type, and you look at some of their other, Ryan Rupert, their 2nd round pick last year, who's French. He's also one of these super raw, high upside, long wings, who has actually grown since the draft last year. But this is just the type of thing they like to do, and especially whether if you look at a team in a position like Portland, it's a little bit of a different situation than a team like Memphis, for example, where the Grizzlies were bad last year because like John Morant missed most of the year and
Everyone
all
was
their guys were out. They weren't bad because
number
they were in a
one.
rebuild. They were bad because all their guys were hurt. And so if you're a team like that, or a team like, I guess, San Antonio, where you're trying to accelerate stuff around Wemby because he's so good right away,
Yeah.
you maybe are more targeting, or Houston, who had somebody else's pick, and that's why they had the third pick, but they were actually closer to the play-in than they were to, the worst record in the league.
Yeah.
You maybe want to use the pick to get somebody where you can say this is like a plug and play, ready to contribute right now, and you can put him on a team that's expected to compete for the playoffs type of situation. The Blazers are very much in the beginning stages of their rebuild. I know that at the minimum next year they're planning on being in the lottery again and trying to go after Cooper Flag. But so somebody like Cody Williams, kind of going back to the draft portion of this, like to your point, a lot of upside, a lot of athleticism, good defender, long-term great finisher too, from what little I've seen of him in college. And the Blazers also have some history with the Colorado program. Jabari Walker is going into his third year. That's somebody they like a lot, and he and Cody Williams know each other. And then also obviously Chauncey Billups is, a Colorado legend, so he has some ties to the program also. So there's some of that going on, but there's also like he just fits the type of guy that they would target. And also, if he's not ready yet, they can play him in the G League for a lot of the year. It's not like they're going to be planning on trying to win a lot of games next year anyway. So that would be where I would guess that they go. It's just a guess though. Like I know they haven't brought in, I guess by the time this goes out, they probably will have, but as we're recording this, they haven't brought in any of the top 10 projected guys from the lottery yet. So I don't know like who they've worked out or who they haven't worked out or who they're planning to work out and when, because they haven't done any of that yet. The workouts that they've done so far have been a lot of like projected second rounders or mid to late first rounders, or like maybe some guys that could potentially be in play with the 14th pick, which we'll get to later. But that is kind of where I would, if you forced me to pick today who I think they might go with at 7, especially if the way that your mock draft is shaken out is the way it shakes out, I think Cody Williams is probably the most logical guy for them to go with there.
I like it. I like the pick. Cody Williams at 7. Sean, thank you so much for your time today. It's been a pleasure. We are less than a month away from the actual NBA draft, so not much longer to wait to see how it all shakes out.